Yehovah Svaot Elohim, Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh. Please fill me and lead me, and cover me, and stir me, and speak through me, using your Ruach HaKodesh, that I may speak your written words with boldness and humility to those who listen. I ask all these things in Yeshua HaMashiach's name. Amen. Start with the Shema. Listen and obey. Children of Yehovah, pay careful attention and respond. Yehovah is our power and authority. Yehovah works in unity with himself. And you shall act upon your love to Yehovah with your power and authority, with your thoughts in mind, with your entire body, with all the muchness that you have. Yod, Hey, Vav, Hey. Hand, behold, nail, behold. 2 Kings chapter 7. Elisha answered, listen to the word of Yehovah. Here is what Yehovah says. Tomorrow by this time, 6 quarters of fine flour will sell for only a shekel, and a half a bushel of barley for a shekel in the market at the gate to Shamron. The servant on whom the arm of the king was leaning answered the man of God, why, this couldn't happen even if Yehovah made windows in heaven. Elisha answered, all right, you yourself will see it with your own eyes, but you won't eat any of it. Now there were 4 men with Zerat at the entrance of the city gate, and they said to each other, why should we sit here till we die? If we say we'll enter the city, then the city has been struck by the famine, so we'll die there. And if we sit still here, we'll also die. So let's go and surrender to the army of Aram. If they spare our lives, we will live. And if they kill us, we'll only die. They got up during the twilight to go to the camp of Aram. But when they reached the outskirts of the camp of Aram, they saw no one. For Yehovah had caused the army of Aram to hear the sound of chariots and horses. It sounded like a huge army. And they said to each other, the king of Israel must have hired the king of the Hittite and the kings of the Egyptians to attack us. So they jumped up and fled in the twilight, leaving their tents, horses, donkeys, and the whole camp just as it was, and ran for their lives. When these men with Zerat reached the outskirts of the camp, they entered one of the tents, ate and drank, then took some silver and gold clothing and went and hid. Next they returned and entered another tent, took some stuff from there and went and hid. But finally they said to each other, what are we doing is wrong? At a time of good news like this, we shouldn't keep it to ourselves. Even if we wait till morning, we will earn only punishment. So come on, let's go and tell the king's household. So they came and shouted to the gatekeepers of the city and told them the news. We went to the camp of Aram and no one was there. No human voice, just the horses and donkeys tied up and the tents left in place. The gatekeepers called and told it to the king's household inside. Then the king got up in the night. He said to his servants, I'll tell you what Aram has done to us. They know that we're hungry. So they've gone outside the camp and hidden in the countryside, saying, when the servants answered, I suggest letting some men take 5 of the remaining horses. 5 of the remaining horses that are left in the city. They're like everything else in Israel that remains, like everything else in Israel, practically finished. And we'll send and see. So they took 2 chariots with horses, and the king sent after the army of Aram, saying, go and see. They went after them all the way to the Jordan and found the entire distance strewn with clothing on the other articles. Aram had thrown away in their haste. The messengers returned and told the king. Then the people went out and ransacked the camp of Aram, with the result that 6 quarts of fine flour was sold for only a shekel, and a half a bushel of barley for a shekel, in keeping with what Yehovah had said. The king put the servant on whose arm he had leaned in charge of the gate, And the people trampled him down in the gateway so that he died, as the man of God had said he would, who spoke when the king said to him, the man of God had said to the king, tomorrow, by this time, 6 quarts of barley will sell only for a shekel, and a half a bushel of fine flour for a shekel in the market at the gate of Shamron. The servant had answered the man of God, why, this couldn't even happen, even if Yehova made windows in heaven. And Elisha had said, all right, you yourself will see it with your own eyes, but you won't eat any of it. That is exactly what happened to him, because the people trampled him down in the gateway so that he died. How can we learn to love our Creator after reading this colorful 7th chapter of 2 Kings? We can listen and act on the words of Yehova. Trust the written words of Yehova. Trust that with Yehova all things are possible. Know that Yehova wants us to place our trust in His word, and He is a rewarder of those who do. Trust that Yehova can and will win wars for you, even if you're not there to fight. At a time of good news like this, we shouldn't keep it to ourselves. Be like the men with Sirach and share the good news of salvation found in Yehova by way of His Son, Yeshua. Live a life keeping with what Yehova says. How can we love others as Yeshua loves us? We can encourage others to trust in the words of Yehova. Bear one another's burdens. We can proclaim the good news of salvation found in Yehova by way of His Son, Yeshua. Produce spiritual fruit, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, humility, self-control. End with the Aaronic blessing using the name. Yehova will kneel before you presenting gifts, and He will guard you with a hedge of protection. Yehova will illuminate the wholeness of His being toward you, bringing order, and He will provide you with love, sustenance, and friendship. Yehova will lift up the wholeness of His being and look upon you and will set in place all you need to be whole and complete.